What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the
fuck? What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, today man, we are Turn. Tell you to motherfucking day. Shooting outside, big crip in the gang, shooting outside shit, man. Free pass now, free console, rushing your thing, and teach you stand the fuck up. Each day is a new day, be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down, I'll fight back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also put yourself in a position of alone. Let's stay humble, let's go revolution on this moment. Keep your way first. Coming to the black, keep it Israelite as a real Jew. We out you. Alright. Boom. Today to motherfucking day. Shooting outside, big crip in the gang, shooting outside shit, man. Gang. Go. Turn. Bruh. So, y'all know how the celebrity world has been shooken up. You dig what I'm saying? It was a raid going on in the industry, nigga. We had to a point where every celebrity was shaking their boots, nigga. Cause they felt like some bullshit was about to happen. You know what I'm saying? That was like, you could feel it. But at the end right now, you know, they only got like a couple of people off of what's been going on, you know, and it's pretty wild. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? That's how it goes, you know. When you got a long career in the celebrity game, nigga, and you get to them heights and making that much money, you gotta think it's about some crazy ass shit all the niggas done. We just don't know about it. They pay niggas to be hush. But it's wild, man. Cause the rumors coming out about a lot of celebrities though. But we got Diddy and his old girl, man. What's that bitch name? You know, he dated before Cassie. Her goofy ass. You know, like I said, man, Kim Porter. You know that I really don't know Kim Porter like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're living for my time type shit, low key. But you know, hey, good to know what it is. Went down really. Kim Porter, you know, she was a model and she had like a decent career coming up into the game. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she met Diddy. She had a husband before she met Diddy. So, you know, that's what I said, man. Toxic relationships, nigga. Money, clout, and fame, nigga. But you can also be dusty, broke, and a bum, nigga. And you can still have the same type of situations, but on different ends. You know what I'm saying? This just goes to show you, man. People do anything to stay in a position of power and have clout and money and fame. And I'm gonna break it down in this video to let y'all know what's really like how it went down. Cause this is a good video, and let's get into it. Shout out to Crime Stories by Scavino. He like a real coming up YouTuber. If y'all want to check him out, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking this video. He has that many subscribers, so let's turn up.
Just days after being relocated to a minimum security prison to serve his 50-month sentence,
what's going on with
Sean Diddy Combs may have already gotten off on the wrong foot. According to a new report, the disgraced rapper has rubbed officials at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey the wrong way after he was reportedly found with homemade alcohol, a banned substance.
They said toilet water.
Sources with knowledge close to the situation said that just after settling into his new home behind bars in the Garden State, Diddy was busted with homemade alcohol, a prohibited substance. According to sources, the alcohol Diddy allegedly possessed was made from Fanta soda, sugar, and apples that inmates let ferment for 2 weeks. The reported mishap angered jail officials, who had planned to relocate him from his current unit, but later reversed their decision.
Nigga, a billionaire.
Diddy wrote a letter to the judge, claiming he was pursuing a sober lifestyle. Diddy's alleged encounter at FCI Fort Dix comes a little over a month after the finna get loose. Rapper was sentenced to 50 months behind bars. At his sentencing, Diddy pleaded for mercy, claiming he's changed since his September 2024 incarceration. Diddy also got deeply personal in a written letter to the court in which he penned, "I lost my way. I got lost in the journey, lost in the drugs and the excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness." As he continued, the father of 7 explained that he'd been making the most of his time in custody by reading books or speaking with therapists to obtain the tools and knowledge to deal with my past drug abuse and anger issues. Another individual close to Diddy who spoke openly about the rapper's previous drug and alcohol use was his ex-girlfriend of nearly a decade,
of course she gonna
Cassie
out.
Ventura.
That bitch was a plant anyway.
During the rapper's summer 2025 trial, the Me and You singer took the stand to recount horrifying details of her relationship with the Making the Band frontman, including the drug and alcohol-fueled sex parties Diddy dubbed freak-offs. While speaking with the court, Cassie recalled being forced to stay out for days at a time while also taking drugs and drinking. She said that her nights culminated with her having sex with a stranger, ultimately leaving her to feel disgusting and humiliated. Ventura testified that she was often so out of her element due to the drugs that she began questioning her version of events. Did this really happen to me? I didn't know what was going to happen after that, if we were going to do it more frequently. I said yes to more. I didn't want to make him upset or angry. Just days before news about Diddy's alleged run-in with Fort Dix prison guards began making its rounds, photos of the "Hello, Good Morning" star hanging out with former NBA star Sebastian Telfair were the talk of the town. The two men are reportedly the most famous faces in the New Jersey prison, as Telfair was drafted in the first round of the 2004 NBA draft and previously compared to LeBron James. He's serving a 6-month sentence for violating the conditions of his supervised release regarding a healthcare fraud case. The two New York City natives would naturally have much to talk about, as both are seeking pardons from President Donald Trump. Adding to his mounting list of personal and legal woes, a Florida man recently filed a sexual battery lawsuit against Diddy, according to News Nation. Jonathan Hay is accusing the rapper of assault and false imprisonment and damning court documents, getting candid in a separate interview where he claimed he was stonewalled and nobody listened. The police didn't do anything because, at the time, Sean Diddy Combs was untouchable, Hay said. Hay alleged that he was assaulted by the rapper in 2020 when he was hired to produce a song for the estate of Notorious B.I.G., and Diddy began touching himself while watching explicit videos on his phone. Hay claimed that after reporting the incident, the project he was hired for was canceled. Diddy just doesn't show up at the location to violate me the way that he did without there being some kind of correspondence between the other perpetrators that attacked me, he said. The ultimate betrayal, the ultimate violation as a man for another man to do that to me. And I went through severe depression where I was suicidal.
Damn, cause niggas beating the meat to you? Insane. Defame, celebrity stories. P. Diddy and Kim Porter, mysterious death of a model. Let's get straight to it. Crip. Y'all know how YouTube does. We need this at all times. YouTube on some BS.
We have breaking news to tell you about now.
YouTubers be hating. They trying to stop niggas from making that money.
Sean Diddy Combs has been found dead.
Hey man, let's get straight to it.
Kim Porter was found this morning in bed, unresponsive in the upstairs bedroom of this Toluca Lake home. She was an actress and model, but of course was perhaps best known for her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs.
See, I don't really know Kim Porter. I ain't gonna care.
We saw an LA County coroner's van leaving the property.
She must have been a bad bitch.
Confirms former model
Kim Porter has
died. She's the ex-girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs and the mother of his children. She was 47 years old.
Kim Porter dated Diddy off and on from 1994 to 2007.
So we broke a very sad story yesterday about Kim Porter, the mother of Diddy's 3 children, who died yesterday. And it just seems so odd. She was 47 years old, and just suddenly died. It was really perplexing.
Appreciate each other.
And we call that picture a secret society. All we ask is trust.
I like that. I like.
It's a secret society. All we ask is trust.
Yeah, she look kind of low key, you know what I'm saying? Like that pudding, bitch.
Kim Porter was born on December 15, 1970, in Columbus, Georgia, to her mother, Sarah Porter, and her father, Jake Porter. Her parents divorced when she was only 3 years old, and she would be primarily raised by her mom and grandmother. She was an only child but grew up around her cousins, who were more like sisters. Kim described her childhood as a happy one, but said that her mother and grandmother always made sure that they instilled the importance of education and discipline. Her mother graduated from the HBCU, Albany State University, and was one of the first black women to get her master's degree from Troy University. Her grandmother, Lila Starr, opened up the Royal Cafe in 1964. It became a mainstay in the community and operated for decades in the Columbus, Georgia area. She was enrolled into dance classes, participated in beauty pageants, and also became a talented piano player.
Mom would say, Kim, go play and it's time to practice your piano. So she was like, Tree, come sit with me and play my piano. So I would sit here with her and she taught me to play Annie.
I'm trying to learn the piano. That shit hard as hell.
As a teen, she worked at her grandmother's restaurant where she learned how to cook, and she was a standout student at Columbus High School and also a part of the marching band. Her best friend at school would go on to become a legendary producer. His name was Dallas Austin, and their relationship and life experiences together would later inspire the movie Drumline starring Nick Cannon. Kim would be crowned homecoming queen. She was a standout student, and her teachers spoke very highly of her. One of them even recommended that she become a lawyer due to her high intelligence and composure. Kim did consider becoming an attorney, but ultimately she would turn to her first love, modeling. While maintaining a near-perfect GPA in high school, she also attended a local modeling school, which would jumpstart her career in the industry. At only 17 years old, she won the Fresh Faces of the South modeling competition in Hilton Head, South Carolina, becoming the first black woman to ever do so. And winning this competition would allow her to make connections and also give her the opportunity to move to New York City, one of the modeling capitals of the world. She went on to sign to Wilhelmina Models as well as Elite Model Management, and Kim went on to have a very successful career doing campaigns for brands such as Tommy Hilfiger and Revlon, as well as walking the runway with some of the biggest names of the day, such as Tyra Banks and Kimora Lee Simmons, who she would go on to become best friends with. Her career took her all over the world, modeling in places such as Tokyo, Japan, London, England, and Paris, France. In 1988, her new connections in the entertainment world would also lead her to love. She was acquainted with music executive Andre Harrell, and he asked her did she want to meet Al B. Sure while they were at a music industry event, one of the biggest R&B stars in the world during that time, thanks to his double platinum album In Effect Mode and his hit single Night and Day.
Buffalo Ranch.
Thank God they got at least about 40-something years.
He introduced us. He actually came up to me and he was like, Kim, do you want to meet Al B. Sure? And I'm like, yeah.
And I was, whoa. I was like, wow.
He was nice. He was very genuine and sweet and compassionate, and those are the things that I fell in love with.
Yeah,
outside of his good looks.
Yeah, buddy.
Kim would spend a lot of time modeling in Milan.
That bank account said
that bank
account got $1 billion in it.
He also says that this is around the same time that they decided to get married. They were deeply in love, and they showed that love to the world in Al B. Sure's Misunderstanding
video
in 1990. and that would
He don't
also
like no
be the
single
same
bitch.
year that Kim would learn that she was pregnant with their child.
He
And
want a
their
bitch who
union
got a
would
nigga.
become the inspiration for one of the most legendary R&B songs of all time, Jodeci's Forever My Lady. Al worked as a producer and a writer as well, and he dedicated the song to the mother of his child, Kim Porter.
I started to write the song, Forever My Lady, and it was about Kimberly. The song was about Kim. So you have my baby. It means so much to me.
You seen that Billy? She changed up hella quick.
On the song and they couldn't come up with the lyrics. And Al looked at me and he was like, "So you're having my baby?" And I was like, "Ah!"
And on June 4th, 1991, the couple would welcome their first child to the world, Quincy Brown, who was named after Al's mentor, prolific music producer Quincy Jones. And Al B. Sure also shares the same birthday with his firstborn son. In the early 90s, Kim started to feel like modeling overseas and trying to be a good mom to a newborn son was way too difficult. So she took a job as a receptionist in New York City, working at the Uptown Records office for Andre Harrell, and her husband Al B. Sure was there as a producer working with the label's musical acts. In late 1991, Kim and Al were at the Uptown offices with their newborn son, Quincy. And this would also be the day that Kim would meet the man who she would forever be intertwined with, a young up-and-coming A&R at the label named Sean Combs, back then known as Puff Daddy. The first time he seen her, she was in the studio with Al, and even though he knew that she was in a relationship, it didn't stop him from admiring her beauty, and even secretly wishing that she was with him instead.
Then it goes on the
Al
hunt.
had influence in getting Kim a job at Uptown, and Kim became the receptionist. At one point, I was working on Cassie and JoJo on one of the soundtracks, and Sean came by the studio. I believe he may have been with his significant other at the time, who was Misa. And I was in the studio with Kimberly, and we had the baby with us at that point, I think, and I was at the mixing board. He walked into the studio, and he looked over, and he saw this really beautiful girl. And she was holding this really beautiful baby. And he said, "Hey, man, I wish I had a beautiful girl like that."
Damn, the bitch took me at that moment.
I was like, you do? It's Misa.
But during this time, Al B. Sure was a certified star with a lot more influence and a much bigger name than Puff, because even though it seemed like Kim had the perfect family with her superstar husband and her new baby, cracks would begin to show in her picture-perfect life. He fell victim to the trappings of fame, the celebrity status, the money, and the unlimited amount of women. A lot of times they would come right up to him even if Kim was standing right there, trying to flirt with him and give him their number. The circumstances put a heavy strain on their relationship, and it caused a very toxic dynamic between the two. According to family and friends, they were both very controlling over one another. Al knew that a lot of men wanted Kim as well, so this caused him to be very possessive, wanting to know where Kim was at all times.
He's controlling her, she's controlling him, she's acting out. That's it's not gonna work.
Al was very jealous, and guys were all over Kim all the time because she was so pretty. So I just remember Al and me talking to him all the time, saying, "Boy, fall back. You know, she's not going anywhere." But he was very possessive.
You would have girls like throwing themselves, literally throwing themselves, throwing their panties, giving their numbers in front of me when I'm there, when I'm not there. I'm a very secure person, but that's a lot to have to deal with at all times.
Kim discovered that Al fathered another child with a woman who gave birth shortly after Quincy was born. After parting ways with Al B. Sure, Kim would continue to further her career, starring in multiple music videos, such as Heavy D's Nothing But Love For You, D'Angelo's Brown Sugar,
you know, it kind of be hard when one person famous in a relationship and the other person not that famous. But if you balance your relationship and you got a strong foundation, ain't nothing can break it.
Queen's running things and his leading lady. Alright, now did you do all the casting for this?
I did a lot of the casting for this.
And what made you pick Miss Kimmy Kim?
Oh, this is a long-time friend of mine, you know. I She was the most beautiful girl I know. So I asked her to do this video. Say yes.
Puff Daddy had his own relationship going on with stylist Misa Hilton, who gave birth to his firstborn son, Justin Combs, on December 30th of 1993. But once that relationship came to an end, he put his sights on getting with Kim Porter.
Oh, so you're talking about Misa. Misa's a different bitch.
A couple, marking the beginning of a whirlwind love affair that would last for decades. By this time, Puffy had raised his profile and even had his own bad boy label. It's said that he was fired from Uptown Records by Andre Harrell, but there's also reports that he was simply chosen by one of the biggest kingmakers in the music industry, Clive Davis. During a private meeting, Puffy convinced Clive to put up the seed money to fund Bad Boy Records and basically erased Andre Harrell as his golden boy and replaced him with Puffy. Kim was there from the label's inception, from the signing of Biggie Smalls and Craig Mack to receiving their first mainstream hit with the platinum-selling single Flavor in Your Ear, and after the release of Biggie's legendary album Ready to Die, Bad Boy would become one of the most prominent record labels in hip-hop, signing future stars like Total, 112, and Mace. Kim also witnessed the deterioration of his friendship with Marion Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records, after Suge's best friend Jake Robles was murdered at an after-party down in Atlanta being held by Jermaine Dupri, and he was allegedly shot and killed by P. Diddy's bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones. That situation served as the catalyst for what would become the East Coast vs. West Coast rap wars that boiled over at the 1995 Source Awards.
Thank my whole entire Jumbo family on both sides, you know what I'm saying? Like to tell Tupac, keep his guards up, we ride with him. And one other thing I like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing.
But they would sneak this like a motherfucker. High key.
Multiple people would lose their lives behind the scenes and publicly due to this East Coast vs. West Coast war that would result in two rap legends losing their lives at a young age. On September 13th, 1996, Tupac Shakur was shot multiple times after attending a Mike Tyson fight with Suge Knight. There were even rumors that Puffy put out $1 million hit on Tupac. This story was backed up by Compton Crip Keefy D, who was one of the men in the vehicle when Tupac was shot by Orlando Baby Lane Anderson. And 6 months later, on March 9th, 1997, Biggie would be murdered after attending the Soul Train Music Awards with Puffy. But through it all, Kim stayed by his side. When it looked like Bad Boy might not recover after Biggie's death, Kim was the one to motivate him to continue on, and Puffy would eventually become the biggest star on the label himself.
We always, me and him, we always had conversations, and I'm really close with God.
Moving up the ladder, huh?
Our relationship, I was trying to show him how God is his friend, and he was taking in God as his friend. You know, it was a gradual thing, and he started understanding. He even had got a scripture, you know, tattooed on his arm, and I have this medallion of Jesus that he went and he had got the same medallion of Jesus.
What did the scripture say?
It said, the Lord is the light of my life. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my salvation. Whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and foes, came to eat upon my flesh, they stumbled and fell.
Dang.
Puffy and Kim would be featured on the cover of his newest magazine titled Notorious, making a pregnancy announcement and celebrating their first child being on the way. But unfortunately, Kim's loyalty wouldn't be rewarded, because shortly after giving birth to their first child together, Christian Combs, in April of 1998, she discovered that Puffy had an ongoing side relationship with another up-and-coming celebrity, Jennifer Lopez, who he had became infatuated with after seeing her in the movie Selena. He personally called her and asked her did she want to be a part of his newest music video titled Been Around the World, and as soon as they met on set, the sparks flew immediately. And after that music video, they would begin their affair, all while Kim was at home pregnant with their first child together. Not to mention that Jennifer Lopez was still married to her first husband on Honey Noah during this time.
My light bulb went off. I just saw Selena. I said, I know Honey could dance. Let me call her, see if she's with it.
He was like, so you used to dance, right? And I go, yeah, I used to dance. And he's like, I think it's time to let people know that you can dance again. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
On the video set, the electricity between Puffy and Jennifer was red hot.
I had my own sparks. You know what I'm saying? You look at Honey, my sparks just flying all off me.
But neither was in a position to do anything about it.
She was married at the time, but I was in my own relationship, so I had to have self-control.
Glass.
We just became friends.
Diddy and self-control is not a good mixture.
Because Kim was spotted out with a huge diamond on her ring finger. Unfortunately, this didn't stop Puffy from popping out with Jennifer Lopez at the 1999 Video Music Awards. This move really embarrassed Kim and caused her to kick Puff out of the home that they shared. Publicly, Puffy wanted to be with Jennifer Lopez, presenting themselves as the perfect power couple. Him being a successful CEO and businessman, and Jennifer Lopez rising as a superstar singer and actress. Puffy loved the spotlight and media coverage that he got being with Jennifer Lopez, but privately, he still wanted Kim, or at least he still wanted to control her. Kim would often confide in her best friend, Kimora Lee Simmons, about what she was going through in her relationship with Puffy. The constant fighting and arguing, the confusion of where they really stood, and the public embarrassment from his relationship with J-Lo. Eventually, she decided that she didn't want to be anywhere near her ex, so she left New York City and went back to her home state of Georgia. But even though she relocated, Puffy would still be a part of her life regardless. He would frequently fly down south to see her, to keep an eye on her, and make sure she wasn't doing anything that he wouldn't approve of. Puffy and J-Lo were media royalty during this time, but soon they would be in the middle of a violent controversy, because on December 28th, 1999, Puffy, along with Jennifer Lopez, his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, along with his newest protege Jamal Shine Barrow, were all partying at Club New York in Manhattan. Puffy bumped into a man named Matthew Scar Allen, a known drug dealer in the area. Words were exchanged and a fight broke out, followed by multiple gunshots, including a woman named Natanya Rubin who was struck in the face. Puffy, J-Lo, and the rest of their entourage ran out of the club into their SUVs. It said that Puffy even tried to bribe his driver while they were on a high-speed chase, telling him that he would pay him a lot of money to say that the gun was his, but the driver refused. Everyone in the vehicle would be arrested and hit with multiple charges, but J-Lo was released almost immediately. This situation put a stain on Puffy's public image, especially after being in the middle of the East versus West beef, where multiple people lost their lives. But with his name in the news headlines connected to a shooting, now that was all in jeopardy. He prided himself on coming off as a businessman and not a thug.
Rap mogul Sean Puffy Combs pleaded not guilty today to charges stemming from a nightclub shooting. Combs was arraigned on charges of criminal possession of a handgun. Those charges are related to a shooting at a Midtown nightclub last December that injured 3 people. Combs and his girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were stopped after leaving that club. Combs was arrested when police found a stolen gun in the front seat of his car.
We know what happened, and we hope, that it all turns out the way it's supposed to.
You had to be disturbed by a report in the New York paper yesterday.
Yeah.
It said an eyewitness along 8th Avenue as your car drove by saw a female hand throwing a gun out of the car.
Ridiculous. I don't even
You're the only female in the car. You don't want to talk about
Ridiculous.
it? You very confident that Puffy will be found innocent in this trial?
Yes, I will.
You going to testify?
If they need me.
But you haven't been
I haven't been asked.
Damn. They're ready to ruin their whole life.
Despite all the negative publicity, it didn't stop him from popping out with his new woman, J-Lo, at the 42nd Annual Grammy Awards on February 23rd of 2000.
She thinking, that nigga
This was
billionaire.
the
Ain't
award
famous
show where
as
Jennifer Lopez wore the infamous dress, which absolutely broke the internet during that time and would be the reason that Google Images was created.
I've never seen that like that. It's like a movie. When Puffy showed up at the 2000 Grammys with Jennifer Lopez on his arm in a Versace dress that defied the laws of physics, he was the envy of men everywhere.
This is a defy the laws of physics. It's not that crazy. This is a fucking skin tight dress. The fuck?
It only took me a second to get out of it.
Defy the laws of physics. This shit ain't got no titties or ass like that.
Kim was at home watching the award show with friends, and she told them that Puffy would be calling before the night is over. And just a few hours after the award show ended, the phone was ringing. But despite Puffy still trying to play both sides, Kim was moving on and had started a new relationship with a man named Shakir Stewart. He was also a music executive and mentee of Antonio L.A. Reid
Diddy
of
letting
LaFace
that go.
Records. He played a vital role in the careers of artists such as Sierra, Usher, Jeezy, Rick Ross, as well as helping Beyonce land her first publishing deal. He was a powerful man in the music industry in his own right, but he wasn't more powerful than Puff. And once he discovered that Shakir was in a relationship with Kim, he vowed to end it immediately. Puffy had connections to L.A. Reid as well due to his distribution deal with Arista. So when he got married in the summer of 2000, he was in attendance, along with Shakir Stewart. It's said that after the reception was over, Puffy went to Shakir's room and confronted him with his bodyguards, threatening to kill him if he didn't stay away from Kim and hitting him over the head with a chair. Soon after this encounter, Shakir ended his relationship with Kim. It seemed like if Puffy couldn't have her, then nobody could. He confronted Kim about her relationship with Shakir, and it turned into a huge fight. And it said that during the confrontation, Puffy broke Kim's nose.
Did you hear about the fact that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht?
Wow, I ain't hear about that.
He broke Kim, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht.
But I took them to where the yacht came and picked them up at, and Puff said, I don't need no security because it was just personal friends getting on the yacht. And then I picked them up when the yacht came back, and I seen Kim's nose taped up.
I know you guys are like...
2001, Jennifer Lopez would break up with Puffy, despite the fact that he played a major role in her rise in the music industry, as well as helping her gain a certain level of credibility within the hip-hop community. In March of 2001, Puff, along with his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, would be found innocent in the Club New York shooting, but his protege Shine was seemingly the fall guy and ultimately sentenced to 10 years in prison. The day after Puffy's victory in court, Kim was suing for child support,
and he's still mad at
ultimately
Diddy.
receiving a $4.5 million settlement. It was a very nasty legal battle, but sometimes they would still be photoed leaving court together. According to Kim's lawyer, Suzanne Bacc, she said that during a conference call, Puff Daddy threatened her by saying that he would take care of her later. After all of the legal issues, Puffy wanted to rebrand himself, so he changed his name to P. Diddy. He wanted to mark a new era in his career as a CEO and businessman, as well as marking a new era in his relationship with Kim, vowing to become a better man and treating her the right way. He went down to Georgia and begged Kim's mom and grandmother to convince her to give him another chance. She said that he told her, "Kimberly, I made a mistake with your mother. We all make mistakes, but you should give him another chance." And to show that he was serious, in 2004, P. Diddy purchased Kim a $6 million home in Alpine, New Jersey, that came with 26 bedrooms.
Nigga did the
Kim
Kobe
stated
trick.
that after Diddy's trial, she noticed a positive change in him, and it was starting to look like marriage was on the horizon. It seemed like they were finally getting to a place in their relationship where they were truly happy. Kim would often appear next to P. Diddy for his Sean John clothing line ads, as well as his fragrance line, Unforgivable. She created a company with her two friends called Three Brown Girls that helped people make connections in the music industry and beyond. She played a pivotal role in discovering artists such as Janelle Monáe, who credited Kim for helping her get her career started, along with Young Jeezy.
I feel bad for the nigga got hit in the head with a chair.
Fire music.
They were just trying to
Shouts
get
out
the
to
pussy.
Kim Porter for that. Rest in heaven, baby.
How did it come to be?
Kim Porter, which was Puffy's
Longtime partner? Yeah.
She knew one of my she knew a
She
guy
did that
named
nigga to the
Bacc.
side, and he got hit in
Actually
the head
had
with
to
a chair.
go, and
She
at the
said,
time I
bitch,
was
you not the one.
working with
Hell no.
Jazzy Faye.
And by 2006, Kim was pregnant with twin girls, and the couple was absolutely overjoyed.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We interrupt your browsing for this emergency
That bitch
announcement.
skinny as hell.
This is my girl, Kim, my lovely girlfriend, KP, Kim Porter.
I don't really like skinny girls like
And,
that. I like a little bit
The
thick
other
and
day,
skinny.
y'all, I woke up in the morning, and I was just looking at my girl. She's pregnant right now, as y'all can see. I was just like staring at her, looking at how beautiful she is. You know, you kind of big. Why are you so big? But not in a way that, you know, she big that would upset her. And I'm just saying, like, she looked kind of big for the amount of months she is. And so I said, baby, I think we need to go to the doctor because you kind of big. You look like you ready to give birth right now. And so we went to the doctor, and guess what? Your boy Diddy is a champion. I am a champion. The doctor told me and Kim, and I'm telling you right now, no press announcement, I'm just telling people in my family that I'm having twins. It is official. Yes, two more Combses. Two. Where are y'all in trouble now?
That same year, they appeared in Essence magazine. It was meant to uplift P. Diddy's public image, as well as celebrate his love with Kim Porter and the arrival of their 2 new baby girls. But it would quickly turn sour. After the interviewer asked P. Diddy when was he gonna marry his longtime girlfriend, Kim Porter, he responded by saying that he was still working on becoming a better boyfriend and how he wasn't ready to be a husband yet,
AK,
even though he knew in his heart that Kim deserved to be a wife. She was forced to put on a brave face during the photo shoot because by this time she was already aware that P. Diddy had fathered another child outside of their relationship, and it was during the same time that she was pregnant with the twins. The other woman's name was Sarah Chapman, and what made this selection interesting by P. Diddy is that she allegedly had romantic ties to his old rival, Tupac. Despite the embarrassment of her boyfriend getting another woman pregnant, Kim still tried to work things out. But soon another woman would enter the picture, and she would prove to be the death blow in Kim's relationship with P. Diddy. A 19-year-old dancer and singer named Cassie Ventura. She was discovered by music producer Ryan Leslie, who was also her boyfriend during this time. He stated that when they had a meeting with P. Diddy to sign the contracts, he wasn't paying him any attention and was staring at Cassie the entire time.
Niggas don't care. These hoes don't care about nothing but the money, nigga. Trip, nigga. They recognize what the fuck going on. These hoes don't give a fuck about no niggas. It's like that lifestyle, nigga. You can fuck 10,000 bitches. Them niggas, them hoes don't give a fuck. As long as you got a lot of money on.
And I met her and I saw this DVD on her. Hopefully we can play that.
That's
what kind of made me like really fall in love with the project.
If you're not, nigga, you could.
I saw something that there was a personality. It was something that, you know, the whole world could fall in love with.
But almost immediately, not only did P. Diddy finesse Ryan out of his music, he also finessed him out of his girl, starting a relationship with the 19-year-old singer when he was in his late 30s. Kim became suspicious and questioned Diddy about his relationship with Cassie, and he would simply tell her that that's his artist, nothing more, nothing less. But the truth would soon be exposed. After the paparazzi snapped photos of P. Diddy and Cassie out in public, sharing intimate moments with one another. At this point, Kim was mentally checked out of the relationship and started secretly making plans to leave P. Diddy with the encouragement of her mother, who told her that enough is enough. At this point, this situation is driving me crazy as a parent. While P. Diddy was attending the 2007 BET Awards, Kim hired movers to clean out her New Jersey home, as well as taking 3 vehicles, including a Bentley. She moved into a new mansion in Calabasas with her kids. It didn't take long for the media to find out about their breakup, and it said that P. Diddy's song Last Night featuring Keisha Cole was inspired by his breakup with Kim.
Shit, he got the money. She got the money on now. She good.
Well, but one thing Buff will tell you is I'm not married. I remember the day that Kim Porter found out about Cassie. I want to blame myself a little bit about it because I was on duty.
She got the money on.
I want to say I was in Central
She already
Park,
been fucking on
this
other
time
niggas.
it wasn't like it
So
is
she good.
now. It wasn't no more cameras allowed. That person got a picture. Yo, go get that camera, yo. It was that type of thing. Like, it was one day that we was in Central Park and this motherfucker decides that either he want to put his hand in the back of Cassie's pocket or Cassie want to put her hand in the back of his pocket. Somebody got the picture. And he was like, yo, boss. And I'm like, oh, man. And I couldn't get the camera.
Now I got to go hunt.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Somehow, some way, Kim seen that picture of Cat. I think it might have been in the newspaper the next day or something like that. Kim packed up everything. She packed up the twins. She packed up everything. Nobody
bitch Misa disappeared quick.
It was just chaos.
He got two car bitch.
Kim Porter.
Baby.
And we'd all be me, Kim, and my ex at the time. I don't want to mention her name. Kim would be on the phone with him a lot, and and it was kind of like, man, like he's very vulnerable at that time. But he's doing this, he's doing that, but then he still wants. It's kind of like, I want to be able to do everything I want to do, but still have you.
Diddy Combs. She says it was in the best interest of both them and their family. Earlier this week, Diddy announced that he and Porter, who began dating in the 90s, have split.
They could have released.
The rap mogul and the model have a son and twin daughters who were just born last December. The couple broke up once before. Diddy dated Jennifer Lopez before he and Porter reconciled.
P. Diddy's ex Misa Hilton would make statements about their breakup, essentially saying that Kim was getting what she deserved because when she was in a relationship with P. Diddy, he was cheating on her with Kim, as well as his future baby mama Sarah Chapman. She even referred to the women as her sister wives. Kim would respond by saying that Misa wasn't even on her level. After ending things with Diddy for good, it said that Kim started seeing actor Jackie Long, but after P. Diddy found out about it, he confronted Jackie and allegedly telling him that if he didn't stop messing with Kim, he would kill him, just like he did to Shakir Stewart years earlier, who would later be found dead in his hotel room in 2008 under suspicious circumstances.
Nigga, out of sight, out of mind, nigga, that ain't that important to me, nigga.
As Diddy's
out of sight, out of mind, to be honest. Nigga, fuck these whores, nigga.
The two women had a very bitter feud, but were able to come off as cordial at times in front of the cameras. Under Diddy, Cassie was able to live a life that she had never seen before, taking private jets all over the world,
not that important,
and everything being done to excess. But there was also a dark side to the glitz and glamour, a side that Kim Porter was all too familiar with. And despite the fact that the two women didn't get along, it said that in early 2018 they had a heart-to-heart conversation, with Kim telling Cassie that she needed to get away from Diddy before it was too late, before she was completely engulfed by his dark world. And not too long after that conversation, in October of 2018, Cassie would announce that
she couldn't let that money on go.
Let's move on to some relationship
what
news.
I tell you?
This one is surprising.
She let you do whatever you want.
Diddy and his longtime girlfriend Cassie
nigga, you broke, you fucked over. She fucking on anything and doing anything she wants.
Cassie on that feed.
Hey, it is what it is.
We're told that they broke up months ago. They've been very quiet about it and they swept it under the rug. And so, but we can confirm it's exclusive. They are not together.
That same year, word started to circulate that Kim was working on a tell-all book where she was going to speak about her time with P. Diddy and her experiences in the entertainment business. But Kim's home would be burglarized, but nothing was stolen except the laptops that she was using to create her book, which seemed odd to investigators. But they had no suspects, so nobody was ever charged in this case. And on the morning of November 15th, 2018, a frantic 911 call was made from Kim's Toluca Lakes home. Her goddaughter had found her unconscious, but by the time the paramedics
not that important, man. Fuck these whores, nigga.
Her friend
Come here, whores in the world,
bitch. The first people on the scene, completely devastated
about the loss of her best friend, as well as
P. Diddy, who was there talking to investigators. An autopsy would reveal that Kim died from lobar pneumonia, which seemed odd, because just a few weeks prior to her death, she seemed to be on top of the world, living life to the fullest and doing what she loved to do most, be a mom and spend time with her children.
Mainly, I'm a mom first, so that is most important to me, so everything else kind of comes after that.
Your mama, man, what role did she play in your life, man? And talk about your relationship with her.
She was like my best friend. My grandma was like my mama.
Okay.
And I mean, every case is different, but we had a relationship that was like I was able to.
You don't look like Diddy's son. Let me be honest, but you know she had light skin jeans and shit, bullshit. Like I think she was like that. She was from a different country.
We was just so cool. Like I was a mama boy. Yeah. But that was a different relationship that we was able to develop because with the balance of my grandma, it was almost like I had two moms.
So for the people who knew her, her death hit them extremely hard. Kim's passing shocked the entertainment world, and when her funeral was held in her hometown of Columbus, Georgia, Mary J. Blige gave a eulogy. where she talked about how Kim did her best to protect her
You
from
think
the
I'm gonna
darkness
crash
of the
out over a
music
bitch?
industry.
Risk my freedom for a female who running after the money anyway? She do anything for the money.
Angels don't stay that long.
The only reason she probably around is for the fame and money. She probably did have feelings for the nigga in the beginning. She still stayed when that nigga was cheating.
I didn't know you like
she did leave, but that nigga was on her ass, nigga. But she came back.
The most beautiful part, I got to know her.
These hoes ain't that important.
She became my friend.
You know what I'm saying?
She was protective over me. She asked
Pussy
me,
come a dime a dozen.
she was like,
Let's be honest, bro.
ready for this? You ready? But she made me question myself a lot. And I think about those questions now that she asked me now that I'm in a situation that I'm in. Kim was always a protector.
Nigga think I'm gonna risk my freedom and life for a bitch who gonna be fucking anyway for the money?
P. Diddy would be photos sitting next to Kim's casket hours after the service was already over, almost as if he was having one last conversation with the woman that he had spent so many years with. He would also take to social media and make numerous posts and videos about how much Kim meant to him and about how hard it was going to be to carry on without her, especially with the kids. But some people believe that Diddy's public mourning came off phony and staged, almost like it was really just an attempt to cover up what really happened, especially after more information began to leak in the aftermath of her passing. Information such as her going to see P. Diddy's personal physician shortly before she died.
You think if it was a broke nigga doing all this shit, you think she'd be staying? That bitch would have
changed it to pneumonia, even though it was
hell
reported that
no.
blood
Bitch,
was
you would have
found
fucked
on her
30
pillows
niggas instead of
and
kick
on
that
the
nigga to the
bedroom
rocks,
floor.
nigga.
P. Diddy's
Call
former
12 on nigga,
bodyguard,
got a nigga out the
G. Dill,
paint.
would do an interview with
Or
The
got
Art
some
of
niggas to try to
Dialogue,
take that back
where he
door,
stated
nigga.
that Diddy purchased Kim's
It just goes
gold-plated
to show you,
casket
man.
2 months
These hoes
before
be
she
shallow.
actually passed away.
These hoes be shallow,
Internet
nigga.
rumors ran wild with the belief that
You
P.
know what I'm
Diddy
saying?
had something to do with Kim's death, but no charges were ever brought against him. There have been stories about Diddy in the entertainment industry for years and his wild behavior behind the scenes, but nothing could ever stick. He almost seemed like he was Teflon, like he was just too powerful to ever fall, despite people like his longtime rival 50 Cent attempting to expose him for years, while predicting that one day karma would come to collect. They wanted justice for so many other people that Diddy had ruined throughout the years, especially his artist on Bad Boy, because it seemed like when their time was over with P.
They
Diddy,
get no fuck
they were
about a
either
nigga
mentally scarred, such as
trying to get it.
who turned himself in December of
Nigga, if a nigga trying to get,
2010,
they gonna try to bring that nigga down, take that nigga out.
decades prior,
Fuck that
or
nigga
they would
over.
end up in a
You know what I'm
similar
saying?
situation to
Don't
Black
do
Rob,
nothing.
who was left so
A positive.
financially destitute he couldn't even pay for his own health care.
Rich niggas,
Never
they
received
get
any
their whole
help
life
from
up
P.
and
Diddy up
everything,
until
bitch.
the day that he died.
Crash out.
Another common theme for former Bad Boy artists is their search for God after them being under Diddy's umbrella. The first artist ever signed to the label, Craig Mack, would join a religious group in South Carolina that some people refer to as a cult. Rapper Mace would famously leave the label in 1999 at the height of his career. He was one of the hottest rappers in the game, but decided to walk away, citing that he could no longer take the evil that came along with the music industry. Diddy's former protege Shine would also turn to religion. After he was sentenced to 10 years in prison for the Club New York shooting, he would convert to Judaism, not to mention the rapper Loon becoming a Muslim after his time on the label, or they would end up as an eternal symbol for the label in death. Just like Biggie Smalls, P. Diddy also fell out with his longtime bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones over financial disputes, and it seems like they never reconciled before Wolf was murdered in a shooting down in Atlanta in 2003. In May of 2024, P. Diddy's empire would begin to fall after video footage surfaced of him viciously attacking his former girlfriend Cassie while they were staying at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. It said that he paid his former girlfriend Cassie $30 million to keep quiet about their relationship, as well as making sure the hotel video footage never seen the light of day. But now it was on the internet for the entire world to see. Diddy would come under investigation by the FBI and would ultimately be hit with a federal RICO charge. He was arrested in September of 2024, and now the man who has spent so many years front and center, basking in the glory of the spotlight, now had the spotlight on him for reasons he never could have imagined. The entire world watching his kingdom collapse. His trial was a media circus with around-the-clock coverage, and his former girlfriend Cassie would be the star witness for the prosecution. going into explicit details about the things that she dealt with during her time with P. Diddy. His RICO case also reignited interest in Kim Porter's passing because how her and Cassie's story is so parallel to one another.
Guess what? I didn't know her, but I knew somebody like her, and that was Kim Porter. I didn't know Cassie, but I knew somebody who was going through the same thing she was going through, and that was Kim Porter.
Told me that she felt better, and she was used. The doctor had been to her house, and he gave her some antibiotics.
Although the rumors would persist for years, there was never any tangible evidence brought forth that would tie P. Diddy to Kim's death. In the wake of his daughter's passing, Kim's dad, Jake, supported Diddy and also stated that he didn't think his daughter's case should be reinvestigated, even though Kim's former husband, I'll Be Sure, has went public on multiple occasions stating that he believes P. Diddy has something to do with her death. But shortly after making those statements, he would mysteriously fall ill, spending months in the hospital and almost losing his life.
We talking about situations for over more than a decade.
Money on the fame, nigga, that shit would bring out the boy. I mean, shit, broke, you get crab in the bucket.
Actually knew what they did.
Money on the fame is like a pack of wolves.
On my head, there was a bunch of stuff.
So do you
it's like
think
pick your poison.
then
You broke, it's a crab in the bucket.
Diddy Combs or people
You're
who
rich,
affiliated
it's a
with
pack
him
of wolves.
did something to you
Shit
that
crazy.
caused you to have multi-organ failure?
Crip, this
I
shit
believe
wow.
this to be the case, yes. Absolutely. Wow. My first time saying it.
It's quite possible that Kim's passing came from a medical condition that accelerated quickly, that ultimately took her life. But people on the internet believe that it was something much more
The
nefarious,
cold, dangerous world out
much
here,
more
gang.
dark.
Crip,
Her case
can't
still
trust
remains
nobody.
somewhat
That's
of
a
a
fact.
mystery that may
Don't
never
be no
be
fool out
solved.
here.
And Kim
You
Porter,
did.
she was only 47 years old when she died. Rest in peace, Queen.
R.I.P. And the rest of the victims. Crip.
I'll be back. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all niggas. Yeah, they had the he got his sentence pushed back because he had fucking toilet wine. Insane. Crip. But yeah, so like I was saying, man, money on and fame, man. Unfortunately, when you got money on and fame, you're around wolves and sharks. When you're broke, you're around crabs and leeches. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the point blank fact of everything. You gotta pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always gonna be some dangerous ass shit that try to fuck you over. You know what I'm saying? And you can try to make it in life, man, but if you don't have your P's and Q's right, if you don't not on your game, when you're broke and when you up, this world can fuck you over in major ways. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get too lost out here and start doing what everybody else doing because you thinking that they doing the right thing. These motherfuckers are going crazy, out of control, nigga. You might put yourself in a position where like you can turn into a whole different person. You became. You don't even know how the same morals, the same integrity no more. So you just gotta be careful when that money on that fame comes, because you'll lose a lot of people and a lot of friends. But that's the same thing when you're broke. You can lose a lot of people and friends, But that's life, man. It really broke it down good, man. Like I tell y'all, man, we live in a wild world. You just gotta be protected and have faith in Yahweh. We have to be hood and outside, big crip in the game. That's our shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.